Hi Team Space, this is StaticFireGal from Total Space Network and welcome to another episode of the Rocket series. In this episode, we are going to talk about the V2 Rocket. Now this rocket has a lot of history. Watch till the end of this video to get to know this amazing rocket and the rocket genius behind this beast. The V2 was developed during the Second World War in Germany as a vengeance weapon. At the end of the World War II, Nazi Germany faces catastrophic defeat. In a final bid for victory, Hitler orders the launch of a new secret weapon. The V2 is the most powerful rocket the world's ever seen. Reaching over 4 times the speed of sound, it soars halfway into space before hitting its target. This was the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile powered by a liquid propellant rocket engine. This terror weapon only takes 6 minutes to travel from Germany to London. There is no defense for this rocket. The Allies soon realized that this is a weapon that they must have. The US became so desperate to capture von Braun and his rockets. So who is Werner von Braun? Von Braun was a German-born American aerospace engineer and space architect. He became involved in the rocketry in the 1930s. He was the leading figure in the development of rocket technology in Nazi Germany and a pioneer of rocket and space technology in the United States. Ever since his childhood, von Braun had dreamt of space exploration. He was inspired by his mentor Hermann Oberth, a space pioneer. Von Braun joined amateur rocket groups. The Nazis soon spotted this engineering genius. Hitler's rocket unit, keen to develop new weapons, tempted him with generous funds. In 1938, he joined the Nazi Party and accepted the rank of major in the SS to secure the future of his rocket research. Von Braun surrendered to the Americans, gambling that the Americans will give the chance to continue his life's mission to build a rocket that sends humans into space. In October 1945, von Braun and over 100 of his top engineers arrived in America. Under constant military guard, they are being escorted to Fort Bliss, a remote army base in the Texan desert. However, the news that the German engineers have been brought to the States sparks public outrage. Von Braun only wanted to build a rocket with his ambition to travel to space. Fun fact, did you know that von Braun predicted that a person named Elon would lead humans to Mars? Von Braun wrote a book in 1953 called Mars Project, and he referenced the person named Elon that will bring humans to Mars. That is insane. Another spacenaut will explain how the V2 engine works.
The V2 engine used high-speed pumps to move large volumes of fuel into the thrust chamber. The V2's liquid oxygen and alcohol propellant produced a thrust of 56,000 pounds, giving the rocket a maximum range of 220 miles, a ceiling of 50 to 60 miles, and a speed of 3,400 miles per hour. With a thrust of 25 tons, the V2 motor was the world's first large liquid-fueled rocket engine, and it powered the world's first ballistic missile. The guidance system of the V2 was pretty simple. They used a compass heading, they would aim towards its target, and based upon the amount of fuel they put into it, they would determine the range. So once the V2 had arched over, it would basically fly until it reached apogee, where the engines would shut off as it ran out of fuel. Then it would fall back down to Earth. It wasn't very accurate, but it created a lot of devastation. Another interesting thing is that the German engineers actually used a slide ruler. The engineers would set the amount of fuel that they would be loading into the rocket. By adjusting a slide ruler, they would be able to determine where downrange the rocket would land with very close approximation.
The V2 rocket also became the first artificial object to travel space by crossing the Kármán line on the 20th of June 1944. This rocket had a murderous ambition but played an important part in rocket development. Let me know what you think about the V2 rocket. Just comment down below. This has been StaticFireGal, and we also want to thank our patrons. If you want to become a patron member, we have a link on the description section of the video. And again, thank you for watching. The rocket was developed during the Second World War. The V2 rocket was developed during the Second World War in Germany. World War. World War.
The V2 engine used high-speed pumps to move large volumes of The V2 engine used high-speed